22, Dead of the Night, the least marketed zombies map of all time. Did you even know this map existed? Not many people do. This, like most BO4 maps, was a great concept, but was poorly executed for only a couple reasons. Honestly, I don't have many complaints about this map, but the ones I do are pretty major. I love the atmosphere. A giant mansion in the middle of the wilderness, filled with zombies, with werewolves, with vampires. It's a Halloween nightmare come true. I don't have many complaints with the design itself. I think everything is sound enough. I really enjoy the Alistair's Folly. It's a hybrid of the ray gun and the blundergat. It's a very unique wonder weapon. But there are some major things that went wrong with this map. Number one, the boss zombies are overwhelming. You are totally overwhelmed the entire time you're playing this map after round 12 when the Nosferatus spawn in. Between the Nosferatus and the regular zombies and the Catalyst zombies and the werewolves, there is far too much going on. There are too many things trying to kill you, and they're each irritating in their own way, and you have to adjust your play style so many different ways in such short time as they're being thrown in your direction. That's major issue number one. Major issue number two is Pack-a-Punch. I love the idea of it, getting the 3 tuning forks in your own unique quest. The problem is the quests are not clear enough to the average player. You have to be a detective to figure this shit out on the first time. You're either Sherlock Holmes or you go to a YouTube tutorial to figure this out. I don't like that one bit. A lot of these quests to get the tuning forks involve finding specific objects around the map, which means you have to stare at the sides of the map trying to find that object for what could be an hour long. It's just a little unnecessary. If this process was trimmed down a lot more and was made a lot more clear to the player, I would love it. But that is a major issue on this map. This is a map I actually hated for a while, but it grew on me. And although it's nowhere near the best, it's nowhere near the worst. At your number 21 spot, we have Nuketown, one of the most irrelevant maps in terms of story, but in terms of gameplay, nothing short of fun. It is absolutely fun. The perks on this map are randomly generated, which adds an element of surprise. It's not all fun in games though, because you can potentially be getting Jug on round 20, which isn't ideal for the average player, but you could also be getting it on round 5. It's Russian roulette. You're having a fun time with it. You could be screwed, you might not be, who cares, we're on Nuketown. The design is pretty straightforward. You have 2 houses, each with a backyard and a central area. You can train in the central area or in the 2 backyards. Spacing isn't much of an issue on this map. Training is entirely plausible. The best thing you've got is a ray gun Mark II, so you don't have a ton of firepower, but you do have a pack-a-punch machine, you do have the bare essentials, and with that, you have a fun time. There isn't much else to it. This was, of course, a multiplayer map at heart, so the design isn't going to be perfect for zombies, but they made it work. I think this map is a bit simple to be high on this list, but I think I found a pretty good spot for it here. Right above it at number 20, we have its older brother, Alpha Omega. Its brother that finished its college degree, but still isn't perfect. The design is far different than the original Nuketown. There are 2 layers to it now. The top layer, the original map, was scrambled up quite a bit, and the bottom layer, containing the bunker now, which essentially doubles the size of the map. The Pack-a-Punch machine and the perk machines are in dedicated locations. The element of surprise had been erased, for better or for worse. Alpha Omega has a layer of complexity to it in which Nuketown didn't originally have, which I don't think it was supposed to have. Nuketown was never aiming for that. Nuketown was aiming to be a fun map. Alpha Omega carried that on, but made it a little more complicated. Whether that's good or bad, I'll let you decide, but personally, I didn't find Alpha Omega to be a groundbreaking map. It didn't really change anything. In fact, the wonder weapon of this map is the Ray Gun Mark II once again, but with different elemental upgrades. Really not an innovative concept. This map is one step above Nuketown, especially with an Easter egg and a bona fide story, but this map is totally forgettable. This map could have never existed.